welcome to the Restaurant Operator Podcast. I'm Mandy Detwiler, editor of Pizza Marketplace and QSRweb, and I'm here today with Craig Haley, president of Smokey Mo's Barbecue. Craig, thanks so much for being with us today.
Yeah, so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I'm going to learn a lot about barbecue today. I don't know much. I love barbecue. I eat barbecue, but I don't know much about it. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the origin story and the history of Smokey Mo's? How did it get started?
Yeah, so Smokey Mo's it's that classic American story where Morris Melcher was his name, put a shingle on a little 1,200 square foot building. He loved barbecue, had worked in barbecue for 30 or 40 years, and he decided, I'm going to go into business for myself. And so he started Smokey Mo's from that in 2000, and people loved it. You know, he had the love for barbecue. He had the knowledge, the experience, and the expertise, and he treated guests well, and they kept coming back, and he was able to grow the company to 16 stores. And then in 2019, he decided, I think I'd like to rest a little bit and get out of the restaurant business. And so he sold the business at that point, and we've been growing it since then.
Awesome. So how many units are there now?
So we have 20 units as of today. We just opened a store today. So we opened a store in UTSA. San Antonio, Texas, right there by the University of Texas, San Antonio. And super excited for that. And we've got a couple more on the way, currently being in construction.
You guys are mostly located in Texas, is that correct?
Yeah, so all our stores are in Texas. All but one are in Austin, San Antonio, so Central Texas. We do have one store in the Houston market in Conroe, Texas. And so, we're just getting started spreading barbecue out to the rest of the world.
Well, Texas has a lot of barbecue, a lot of good barbecue. What's going to set Smokey Mo's apart from other barbecue restaurants in the areas?
Yeah, I think for us, it's really about just caring about the product. So we're a neighborhood barbecue. We're a smaller format barbecue than a lot of the other chains that are out there. We're more similar in size to really the kind of the craft barbecue locations. And what we do is we're incredibly consistent. Like we have a training process and recipes, and we're not relying on, one person's expertise. We've really learned how to get the understanding of how to create the barbecue and spread it out to our store managers and our cooks and pitmasters in the store and the cutters in the store. So it's incredibly consistent. I think that's what's really important for what we do. And we have great taste in Texas barbecue. I think we're really centered on that Texas barbecue, which is about 50% brisket, but we have, dry pork ribs. We have, it's dry rub pork ribs. The ribs aren't dry. They're incredibly moist. But we don't put barbecue sauce on the ribs as we cook them. So that's a Texas thing. We also have smoked turkey, and our sausage is kind of the hill country sausage. So it's that labor of love with barbecue and just really being able to execute on those recipes all the time. So I think that's what really sets our food apart.
Why do so much in-house? Why cut in-house? Why do all of these things in-house?
Well, I think so some of our competitors and some other barbecue restaurants, what they do is commissary cook, and then they bring it out. But the problem is when you reheat barbecue, we've all done it, right? It's not nearly as good. So fresh off the pit, like we have pits in all of our stores. We're smoking in-house every day in all of our restaurants. All of the meat that is sold in each restaurant, all of it is smoked in that restaurant that day. So I think that's incredibly important, because what we're doing is we're giving you the very best version of barbecue, not what's easiest or maybe what's most cost effective, but really it's the best barbecue. So when you pull a brisket off at 8 a.m. in the morning or 10 a.m. in the morning and you're selling it at 11 for lunch, it's a lot better than a brisket that was cooked and trucked over and reheated that morning. So I think it may be more difficult because you've got to train more people how to cook and how to prep and all those things, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth that extra effort, and it can be done. It can be done incredibly well.
What about your sauces and rubs? Are you making those in-house, or do you have a preferred supplier?
Yeah, we have a preferred supplier that makes it to our recipe. That's one of the things that I think as you grow, as you expand, you've really got to find partners for some of the things that you do. But you use your recipe. The same thing with our cream corn. That's all our recipe. And so there are some products that we have, local companies create for us in bulk batches. And the barbecue sauce is one of those.
What are the biggest challenges that Smokey Mo's has faced as a growing company in Texas?
Well, competition is one of them, right? I mean, you mentioned that earlier. There's a lot of barbecue. There's a lot of folks that want to get into the barbecue business because they love it. They love doing it at home. I think the competition is one. I think just the price of commodities. This is something that's not really a barbecue thing because it's all restaurants, but just the price of the cost of goods. I think the other challenge that we've been able to overcome is really that training aspect of it, because it's not as easy as maybe starting a burger restaurant as far as the training goes, because you have to have a few specialized people in there. But the time period that it takes to teach and learn is not nearly as long as people think either. We've really perfected that. We've been able to get people up to speed in a few weeks for the cutter position, and then a few months for being able to really cook well and be able to be pitmasters in the barbecue location. So I think training is definitely one of the things that was a challenge for us.
Okay, that's got to make hiring a little more dicey when you're hiring the right person for those kinds of positions.
Yeah, I think you're really worried about dependability and reliability and longevity with those folks. But I think hiring is a challenge for everybody. It's been a challenge. We put a lot of effort into it for all positions. It's the same with service. I think a lot of times people think, well, it's easy to hire people for service. You can find people anywhere. But for folks to give great service, you've got to really put the effort into finding the right person. So I think the kitchen staff and the service are similar in that if you put in the effort, you'll find the people. And honestly, we even though it's been a struggle or it's been tough in this market compared to maybe other markets, we've been fully staffed in our restaurants for all of the last 4 years. And I think that's really a testament to how much effort we put into it on the front end and finding the right people and continuing to look for people. If we have a full staff, we're still willing to hire people, because it's like if you find somebody who's great, they're worth it. So we're always looking to hire the best people in the market.
Sure. Keeping Smokey Mo's local is part of your ethos. Why is that such important to the brand? So important to the brand?
Yeah, well, I think barbecue particularly is something that is community based. You have community barbecues, you invite your friends over and you have a barbecue. It's something that feels right to really be involved in the local community, first and foremost. And then secondly, it's just we're passionate about it. We want to be a neighborhood barbecue. When we're in your neighborhood, we want we want Mandy to say, hey, this is my Smokey Mo's, and I know the people there, and I have a connection there. And I think that it fits with our brand already with just being barbecue, but it's also something that we believe is important just for the leadership of the company. So we've put a lot of effort into that, and we put a lot of focus into that, and we believe it makes a big difference.
That includes customer service or community service projects as well, correct?
Sure. Yeah. We like to partner with, I think the bread and butter for us is really the local high schools. We partner with almost every local high school near our restaurants. So we're involved in the booster clubs and the football teams and the teachers. We do a lot of events for teachers. We're also involved with many charities. We do spirit nights and really anything that's going on in the community. If there's a parade in town, we want to be a part of any event that it makes sense for a barbecue restaurant to be involved in. And so we're always open to hearing from our guests and partnering with them on things. But also we do a lot of large meals. Barbecue is perfect for a group of 50. So we're doing weddings and we're doing funerals and we're at graduations. And so we're at the events that are really important to people as well. And I think barbecue is particularly good for that because it's a portable food. It tastes great. Sliced on site, or if you bring it to them sliced, it's just something that holds. It's not like a French fry, for example, where if it gets 15 minutes away, it's no good anymore.
Nope.
The barbecue is great. And so, and it's easy to set up a buffet line for as well. So it's easy for the folks that are doing the party, that are planning it. And so, yeah, we're already a part of a lot of events. It just makes sense for us to continue to be in that community.
So you all do catering?
We do. We do catering. We also do a lot of what we call group packs, which is for 10 or more people. So it's the plates, the meal kits, the pickles, onions, barbecue sauce, the meat, the sides, the tea, anything you need. So it's basically a group meal in a box. We bring it out, you set it up, or we set it up for you, and it makes the whole process incredibly simple for the customer, for the guest.
Now, when did you come on board?
Yeah, so I started in 2020, March of 2020, and so
that was right in the middle. Yeah, right in the beginning of COVID.
Oh, it was nuts. Yeah, it's been a fun time, honestly. As anybody in the restaurant business, especially on the operations side, really knows that COVID threw us all for a loop. It was a lot of fun at times, but it was obviously very stressful as well.
Sure. Now, what was it that you're bringing to the table in terms of your leadership style?
Yeah, so I think I'm really what's really important to me is for us to grow this brand in the right way, which I think is really excellence with the store operations. I think it starts there. I think that a real focus on excellence, and for us, it's our guest promises, right? So it's the food quality, it's the hospitality, it's being fast. I think when you come to our restaurants, there's a sense of urgency about getting your food quickly. It's the cleanliness, and then really having accurate orders for you to get what you ordered. Especially nowadays, that's incredibly important because of COVID and because people are ordering food to take home at a double and triple and quadruple what they were doing before COVID. If your order isn't accurate in the store, it's pretty easy to fix. We just give you what you ordered in about 30 seconds. But if you take it home and it's wrong, it ruins your meal. And so I think that's those 5 guest promises we really focus on. For us, it's really about our mission to serve great tasting barbecue in a friendly way that keeps them coming back. So it's really focusing on our mission and our vision and those guest promises and excellence in the stores. And I think keeping us all that's really my job, is to make sure that we're keeping those top of mind in every decision we're making and every problem that we're attempting to solve, and really growing the brand. That's what we're here to. That's what I'm here to do. So I've been a part of some other growing brands, and I think it just fits right in. I've worked in barbecue for many years as well,
Okay.
and so that knowledge of how to do it in a way that's excellence, I think that's really what brought me here.
Okay. Now you all are franchising, is that correct?
We are, yep. The store I mentioned earlier that opened today is a franchisee, a franchise partner of ours. It's their second store, and so they're growing within that San Antonio market. And yeah, we're actively franchising right now and excited about it. I think what we've done, we've opened 3 corporate stores in the last 2 years, and we've really learned how to open our new format. We built a new prototype, and now I think we're poised and primed and ready for franchise partners to come in and really reap the benefits of all that hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what advice, I guess my last question is, what advice would you give to someone who is interested in starting their own barbecue business? What would you tell them? Maybe
Well,
not in Texas, maybe not your
yeah,
competitors, but
yeah, that's a tough one for competitors, right? Don't come into the business. No, I think with barbecue, well, I'll just say this for restaurants. I think if you're going to start your own restaurant, you should get into it with the understanding that you're going to run that restaurant for at least 2 years. I think some people get the idea, well, I'll have the ideas and the recipes and then I'll hire managers. I think that's not a successful way to start. So if you're getting into the barbecue business, I would say be really passionate about it. You need to be passionate about the food and be passionate about working in that environment for at least 50 to 60 hours a week for multiple years, because you've got to figure out how to really make it work. It's not, as a business, to get into without the knowledge. You've got to really understand how much to cook every day, for example, because if you cook too much, you have a lot of waste. If you cook too little, you're out of your products every day. And or you're trying to reheat product the next day and then it's not as fresh and not as good. So I think really the advice I would give is come into it with that passion, that labor of love, and really expect to really be running the business for multiple years.
excellent. Excellent. Well, that's all great advice. Great advice. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Restaurant Operator Podcast. Craig, thanks so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Mandy. This was fun.
This was excellent, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Bye.